Hey, hello everyone. Good morning, and thank you for all coming here today. Today is a cloudy day, and I thought that maybe nobody's gonna come, but because in Turkey, generally sunny and people's coming out, but when it's cloudy, nobody's going out in Turkey. Okay, today there are some facts and my predictions in future of the mobile world, mobile business. That's why today in my presentation I try to show you some facts on some today's mobile architectures, and after I'm trying to predict some future of this mobile world, and want to hear your also thoughts. Let's start. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm working for Turkcell Geleceği Yazanlar project, which is probably Turkcell. It's one of the Turkey's and Middle East region's biggest operator, more than 35 customer. We are trying to build a developer portal of Turkey. And that's why I'm working in daylight. At nights, I'm a Tizen and automotive grade Linux developer, which is working to get everything related Linux into automotive industry. And I'm also an Intel software contributor, and I used to work in Nokia, good and best MeeGo times. First of all, a little bit introduction about Tizen. Maybe you have already know that Tizen is targeting cross-platform, real cross-platform, which is inside x86 and ARM chips and smartphones, tablets, notebooks, in-vehicle infotainment, IVI, which is called smart TVs and embedded systems. Linux Foundation is the head of this committee, but the most spending coming from Intel and Samsung. You have already know that. Let's have a look Tizen History first of all, which is I also joined that history in Miami times, which is based on Qt and Intel's Moblin, which is based on GTK. Nokia and Intel come together to build a next generation mobile world, and they call it MeeGo, which is based on Qt. And after Nokia's decision to left the MeeGo, and Limo Foundation, which is heading of Samsung also inside, comes together with Intel, and they say that they want to continue MeeGo, but only we have here nothing from MeeGo, the new name Tizen, and which is based on HTML5. And after that, Samsung put their Bada in it with their C++ frameworks, and today's Tizen after 2.1 we have HTML5 and C++ based on operating system. Only C++. Yeah, okay. General common libraries with C++, maybe I write it. Okay, let me look architecture. Based on Linux kernel and device drivers, and up to services and APIs, and after 2.1, there's a web framework which is based on WebKit and web apps running on it, and the other part they have native frameworks and native apps. This is the first fact of Tizen architecture, and let me continue on that. Let me stop here about Tizen, pause here, the Tizen and architecture, and we go to second part, which is Firefox OS. Also Firefox OS is Mozilla Foundation's new mobile operating system and based on HTML5. And there are lots of vendors also supporting the Firefox OS, as you can see, like a Tizen. And also, there has been released their first device. Maybe you already know that. Also in Poland, it's quite popular. And let's look at Firefox OS architecture. Here is Linux kernel and drivers based on, and after some open source libraries, APIs come in, and Gecko runtime. Oh, no, okay, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, thank you. Gecko runtime coming, and some web APIs on it, and application layer coming after that, which is based on HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS. This is the second fact. Let's have a look. Linux kernel and device drivers. Services and APIs, which is Firefox using Gecko runtime, Tizen using WebKit, again web runtime, web framework, and web apps. Similar, I think. Seems like similar. This is the second fact, and let me pause it again, that one. And in the Google side, which is the biggest ecosystem, I wrote down here what's next for Android, because do we know that what's the next version of Android, which is very going to be popular, I think, 4.3 KitKat, yeah? We already know that. And after maybe 4.4 gonna come, 4.5 gonna come, and probably we know that they have a 5.0, which is maybe K-line Pi. Maybe in 6.0 they put another sweet name on it. But really, is that going to continue like that? Just use this Android and 6, 7, 8, 9. Also, Google is developing another OS, which is they called Chrome OS. And they've been released their laptop, and they make an advertisement like that. For what's next? It seems like their next generation going to be different, I think. Let me look for that. This is an Chrome OS architecture, which is hardware, customized firmware, probably for other vendors, of course, and Linux kernel, again, based on using some system libraries, exclusive libraries, and again, based on Chromium, which is, they have Windows Manager, of course, to use it in the other systems, and web apps, websites, and extensions. And here is the one of the big questions coming. Is there anything that can stop Google to use that architecture in also for mobile devices? Why not?
The size of current Android ecosystem.
Okay, let me come to that. just we are looking for technical now. Let me continue. What say Thor? Hybrid world. Sergey Brin said in 2009, Google's OSes like to converge in Google I/O. This is from ABI research in 2009 again, when Brin talks about it. Perfect storm of converging trends. You know, we got phones and tablets on one side, and we got laptops and netbooks coming in on the other side. And maybe those two machines, those two regions comes together with millions of users in the cloud-based systems. Do you know that guy? Sundar Pichai. I don't know. Sorry for him. Okay, right, cool. We got an Indian here, right? Yeah, cool. He was the head of Chrome OS. And after Andy Rubins left the Android, we already know what we don't know exactly where he goes in the Google, but in 2013, after Andy Rubin, Sundar Pichai comes to head of Android, right? But don't you think he left Chrome OS? Here is the important thing. He is now head of Android and Chrome OS together at Google. Only one head with two different operating systems. It will be interesting. Let's have a look to third fact. For some reasons, yeah, there are some differences, of course, but in generally, when we look outside, maybe no need to tell more than that. Future of mobile. In those facts, all web-based operating systems coming. I thought the future of mobile will be JavaScript and for CSS, and two of them comes together with an HTML5. It seems like that. Why HTML5? There are lots of advantages we can list now, but I know that here is also the HTML features talking today, and you can get, I think, lots of good, interesting stuffs from that presentation. But I just want to show you that I have an HTML5 application which is running in Android. It's a game also, and I ported it to Tizen. Last year I did that, and it takes only 2 seconds. that's it. What I've done. It means it's very easy to port if you want an HTML5 apps to some platform, especially on Tizen, which is based on HTML5. Okay. What's reality? Because most of you, probably lots of developers and end users also have concerns about the Facebook thing, which Mark Zuckerberg, probably everyone knows here, said our biggest mistake was betting too much on HTML5. But the generally press got this sentences, but he also continued like this. It's not that HTML5 is bad. I'm actually, on long term, he's thinking. And for another thinking that from Mozilla also, Brandon A. from Mozilla says, if the web can be evolved to include the missing APIs and have better performance, developers won't need to go beyond the web. If you can give all those web APIs in fully function, it can be possible to let them into mobile. And we have an example about Facebook here. Do anybody watch this before? Okay. Timur, only you. It's good for to everyone gonna watch it here. Senka wrote an HTML5 Facebook app after this Mark Zuckerberg's decision, and let me watch how did they and how it's work. Sound is not problem. Let we see here the one of native and HTML5 apps of Facebook. Loading dynamically and fast. That's enough. And some features also, which is exactly working like native. Here is hiding it comes. That one. And some features. And of course here is an Android one. Most of these features, also the last one is, the one of HTML5 feature is local storage feature. It's very good, I think, using that one. Okay, for apps, for ecosystem, for key strategy of ecosystem. Here, in the left part, you see the most downloaded apps on iOS. In the right part, you see the most downloaded apps of Android, Google Play Store. I just take first 25 because it just fit in my slide, but it has, first 100 I found. Here, most downloaded apps. Okay, let me ask you, let's get it out games from that list. Let's get it, games. And put those 25s come together. We got those apps, most downloaded apps, both platforms, without games. Now, can you tell me that any of it which is not based on web or server side?
But it's wrong approach. You focus on the top, on the middle of the distribution, and there are very, very long tails. There are thousands of applications people use, and if they don't have them on new OS, if small authors, small companies don't put them, they add up probably. Simple question: do these applications go for more than 60% of downloads?
I exactly don't know the numbers.
It's not about who's first,
But
the distribution is very significant.
yeah, it can be. But I'm not just looking for numbers here. I'm just looking for what end users using also. I have lots of friends, also you have. They got smartphones which is using Android and iOS. Yeah, they're using some another apps of companies, which is also some of them is web-based or some of them is native working. But probably everyone knows those apps and using in their daily life. I don't have any numbers for that. I'm just saying that my observation. And after that, we can say all those apps web or server based. And if you put your HTML5 capabilities into your operating system, like here, for example, that Tizen 2.0 or 2.1 also got that score. You know, scores is not important for us, but for end users, it's important. They are looking numbers. They're really looking numbers. And if you put your features and capabilities to your devices, your operating system, those apps and those web or server side things that come to your devices. I say here future with Tizen, but it can be also future with web-based operating systems as well as. We know this figure, I think, when the internet started. The world, servers, laptops, PCs, and other smart machines connected to one world, which is internet. But with Tizen or web-based operating systems, we really want to use all that machines in a single device. Which is, if I have a Tizen phone or another phone that based on that, I can control my PC, smartphone, smart TVs, and in-vehicle infotainment, which is cars, etc. I'm just dreaming, but one day it can be happen, which is if you can connect to the internet. And also with Tizen, there are some different targeting points. Maybe or not, but it can be. And mobile world big picture, which is after those facts. Here is my prediction coming. This is all my own thoughts, of course. In the mobile world, everyone wants to be like an Apple, right? Everyone. Because Apple has an Apple has his own device and own software, which is also Steve Jobs always quoted on that. Your hardware, your software. Apple. And the Google side, let's be look on it. His own software, but 2 years ago, they did something to change that. They, bought Motorola to produce their own software with their own hardware. And Microsoft side, they got their own software, but they don't have their own hardware. But first of all, thanks to Microsoft to both before that conference, I can put Nokia logo here. Now they have own software and they have own hardware. And the Samsung. Samsung is the biggest, manufacturer in the smartphones business and using Android. And I read lots of articles that Samsung's in Android ecosystems per device, Samsung has most income company in that world. And Samsung, which is a hardware company, using someone another's software. Within all this big picture, I think everybody thinks that what they can move, what they can do. Maybe all my own thoughts that if in this puzzle there is only one thing missing, and when you put it inside that with your own hardware, with own software, all these puzzle becomes complicated. That's all. Thank you for listening to me. Before your questions, this is just my own prediction. I said it first, and I think most of you got your own thoughts, your decisions maybe probably, and we can of course discuss those things as we have, I think, lots of minutes. Sorry.
I wanted to ask about Facebook because prior to version 2.0, the Facebook was HTML5 based and it was horrible, really horrible. And when they did this by the native APIs, it
becomes faster, yeah.
It was 2 times faster. So
Yeah.
how about this Fastbook and why not Facebook went that road?
Okay. I can say you that HTML5 is faster than native. Yeah. This is obvious fact. Always native apps going to be faster than that, and most of the features inside. But I thought that this Facebook decision is not. I think we cannot just explain their decision by technical requirements. I think in this world there is also some other coincidence or some decisions without explained by technical requirements, which is maybe Facebook is the biggest company in this world, and their apps, most downloaded apps always, and maybe they don't like to be now in the that mobile-based world. It can be probably, but in year by year, which Zuckerberg says, that in a year, in a 2 year, 3 years later maybe, they will be inside. And I don't know exactly why it's been slower than native one. Yeah, I know some technical requirements, of course, but why don't they did something like Senka did? I don't know that in technical requirements, but I can think that this is because of not technical. This is because of something another. That's why probably. Yes, Attila, please. Of course, the Senka showing their product.
A bit of a mistake because the so-called native app is not really native, it's a hybrid application. So it's kind of a mix, and it's very hard to judge.
I'm not. I just show you what Senka did. Okay, yeah, the company which is not related to me that showed their Facebook apps, but it shows that not totally with not all features that Facebook has, not all features, but some features, which is also you can use in your daily life, which is end users probably, and also works like that. By the way, I don't have T-shirt or something to give. Sorry for that.
Can you please get to the slide with the most downloaded applications without links? Okay, maybe I'm no.
The last one.
Next one.
This one.
Okay, maybe it's because I'm too far, but is there a flashlight out?
Yeah, and I scratch on it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not sure how we're gonna implement that in HTML5, but I'd be interested.
Yeah, that's why I scratch on it. Yeah, just put outside. But you can do, I think, with some in Tizen. Of course, you can do with your native frameworks.
There is probably an API for this piece of hardware, because as far as I can tell, this is about turning on the LED and shining it, right? So this is, I think this is not a big problem.
Okay. Thank you again for listening to me. Thank you very much.